Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Art and Outdoor Life here with John. So we're going to paint an old rustic out in a farm, out in the country, maybe early summer. I'm using two blues for the sky. That's cerulean blue and ultramarine blue. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some yellow ochre, and I'm just going to put it right under that sky there. And make this very simple. I was just thinking something rustic, kind of rustic, but very simple to do, very fun. I hope that you're having a good day wherever you are, whatever time you're watching this, whether it be morning, evening, afternoon, night. And I'm going to take here some brown, which I mixed with some of that yellow ochre, and I'm going to create kind of an old country road. Whether it be muddy or dusty, that's up to, whatever. And over here, I'm just putting in a rectangle, a brown rectangle, in which I'm going to take my card and I'm going to scrape in a roof. Gives it that nice rustic look, kind of a worn out cabin, or maybe just an old rustic structure out in the country somewhere. And I'm thinking it's early summer, and this is going to be a very nice little scene. Right in front of this structure, I'm going to use the same color that I did with the sky, and I'm just going to put a little oval kind of shape, and I'm going to put a little pond right there. Right in front there. Nice little fishing pond. And I'm going to take some of that same color and I'm going to push it right up front. And we're going to have our bushes. Or maybe some hedges. Just some kind of bushes there up toward the front of that road. And I'm going to I have two greens. One is a sap green and one is a shade or two darker. And with the medium hake brush, I'm going to create some, you can call them pine trees, fir trees, you can call them, you can even make them cedar trees if you shaped them right. And we're just going to stick them out back a little bit. And then we're going to take some of that greenery and we're going to put it right down the center of this old dirt road. Maybe it was an old logging road at one time, right? They have some of those out here where I live that are still around. And then I'm going to come over these bushes up front with some of that green. And what we're going to do is we're going to brighten it up, and we're going to put a little bit of pale yellow on there, as if there was some bright light shining on here. And to kind of give it some texture, give it some flavor right there. I'm thinking about this, and the sky almost looks like it could be a storm sky, right? Like it's getting dark. Anyways, so I'm using this side of my medium hake brush, and I'm very quickly just patting the paper down and putting in some more greenery. Yeah, it's a lot of green, but that's what it is. It's grass. Later on, I'm going to add a little bit to that grass. We'll change it up a little bit. So, while the paint is still wet, I'm just going to put some a little fencing along the side of the road here. Just kind of like that. I could have waited until the paint dried and just went and, I could have painted it a brown or maybe, a few different things, but just having a good time here. Yeah, it almost looks like there's a storm on the horizon there, being with all the storms we've been having lately. So, and that's why I like these simple paintings. You have an imagination, and you just add to it. So I scrape out a few little, maybe there's some weeds there by the bushes, scrape those out. Maybe put some of the tree trunks and those trees in the back to kind of distinguish them a little bit. The paper I'm using here is, I believe it's 11 by 15 or 14, not sure. But so then I'm just dabbing in some browns and different colors here, and I'm just going to come around the back. There's some blue, some green. I got a little bit of brown in there. It's kind of a mid-tone. I know it's a little darker. Just to kind of separate that house, that structure, and to kind of give an appearance that maybe there's some hills back there. So I'm working my way through this. And a lot of this is actually dry brush, believe it or not. There's not a ton of water there wasn't hardly any water on the paper, and just a little bit on the paint. So try to make some skinnier trees. Not worried about, what they look like. I just wanted something there. Put something in there besides your pine trees, your fir trees. I just, just to kind of give it, like I said, rustic and kind of woodsy, This is a wooded area. So just a few trees there. Yeah, you don't have to put a million branches on them or nothing. The whole idea is, yeah, okay, I get it. There's a couple of trees over there. Yeah, that's the idea here. And then we'll put a few more up front, just off the side of this pond here. If you enjoy my videos, please consider liking them, or better yet, subscribing to my channel. It really helps me with my channel. This is a hobby of mine. It helps a lot with my with the stress of my life, and hope it helps you with the stress in your life. Helps me with my anxiety issues and such. And it helps the algorithm too. Okay, so now I'm just filling in the blanks here. Got a little bit of brown, a little bit of yellow ochre, a little bit of green in there. Just kind of going around the pond. And then I'm going to just kind of go in between these trees just to kind of fill it in a little bit. Fill in the white of the paper a little bit. Just like that. Okay. Now, with the grasses, you could do all kinds of things with the grasses. You can add a little bit of brown to your grass. You could add a touch of yellow ochre to your grass if you don't like them super green or all green. You could do all kinds of things. I'm just going around this pond here. Again, I'm putting up some more weeds, or maybe there, some sticks coming out of the ground. And just to kind of, make it more, put a little bit more nature in there, some wild nature. And then we'll come up on, put some tree bark effects on these smaller trees. Just like that. Yeah, it's probably a hot day. Maybe a storm's brewing in the back, or maybe it's, it's starting to get dark out. Maybe it's later in the day and the sun is going down, and that's why you see the yellow ochre behind those trees. You can use your imagination when you do these. I hope that you enjoy these videos, these paintings I make. Very simple, suggestive, and I hope that you get ideas. So with a little bit more brown, I'm just going to put in some little squares to windows, maybe a door here and there. Just to kind of, and then a little bit along the roof, just to kind of make it a little bit more homey. Thank you guys for viewing. I hope you're having a good day. Please come back and like and share and subscribe. Until next time, I'll talk to you later. John.